Hello, everyone. I've decided to start doing just a little series that's a little different from my channel. I really enjoy these things called paper theaters, and so I think I'm just gonna do like one video a week of me just constructing this paper theater and maybe having it like a story time, I guess. I don't know. I just really enjoy doing these, and I feel like not enough people know about paper theaters, so I just kind of want to start making these videos. It's not really gonna be that big of a deal, it's just maybe just like an overhead footage of it and sped up because this took me about an hour and I shortened this to about a 9-minute video. And in this first video, I'll quickly explain what the kit comes with. It just comes with all the little paper cutouts that you need to do. Everything's pre-cut out for the most part. There are these little notches that you need to separate. And the reason that's the case is because each piece of paper indicates where it will go. It has a number and it'll have a word by it. So, but everything is pretty much pre-perforated. You just need an Exacto knife to cut those little notches. They're approximately 2 to 6, depends on how big of the piece is. It also includes an instruction manual. Sometimes these don't have English, sometimes they do. It really doesn't matter because the pictures are pretty straightforward and I'm just following along the pictures. And that's pretty much it. I do try to have all the individual pieces kind of separated so I can see them a little bit better. But it's just pretty straightforward, and it's a really therapeutic process. The only items that you need are the Exacto knife, some sort of glue, and some kind of, I guess, a paintbrush to distribute the glue, and then some kind of weight. That's what you can see me doing, putting random things on my paper theaters. Because they are paper, they tend to warp if they're not held down while they're drying, and so especially on the larger area pieces, it's pretty important to either press it down with your hands or put a weight on it while you continue to cut other things, like you can see me do that just there on that green part of her shirt. I just put the little glue bottle on top, and it doesn't take very long to dry at all, and you can continuously work on these, and each little paper theater picture will show you which piece to cut, how many to cut, and what order. So usually just by each little box where it tells you where to cut, that's how I'm doing breaks. I would not recommend you to pre-cut anything because the pieces do tell you, like on the little paper cutouts that they come in, they do tell you what layer that they go to or whether it's a front or a back piece. And this project not so much, but a lot of the pieces do look pretty similar on some of them. So you should just cut as you go. It's a lot more helpful, and I think it's a lot more organized when you do it that way. And this is pretty much the end of the tutorial. Towards the end where I'm gluing the corners together, I'll pop back in and talk about that because that was a really difficult process. That's the hardest part about every paper theater, in my opinion, is getting all 6 layers. Every paper theater like this is 6 layers, and you just have to get all of them put together, and you have to put the corner joints in, then you glue them together, and that's actually a pretty hard process, but that'll be it right at the end of the video. And I guess I'll just, for the next few minutes or so, I guess I'll just talk. I really like Studio Ghibli. Studio Ghibli is just like a nostalgia comfort item of mine. I like listening. The soundtracks just make me feel at ease and calm. I like the movies, of course. The animation style is just really appealing as well. And something that I didn't realize, and then I saw someone post about it on social media, and it's totally true. Almost all of Studio Ghibli's movies feature a female protagonist, and I think that's actually super cool. And I feel like that might be like a subconscious reason why a lot of people gravitate towards it. It's different, and it's done in a way that it's not like really preachy or anything. And it's just all the movies are so good. And so I really like Studio Ghibli. So these paper theaters are something of real joy to me. I guess I'll link something down below where you can get some. I personally like using the Japanese website Plaza Japan. They have the cheapest ones. Their shipping is kind of expensive, but it is international shipping. But honestly, if you get more than 2 paper theaters, the shipping really kind of pays for itself because like on Amazon or eBay, if you get a paper theater, they go from anywhere from like, I don't think I've seen one recently under $15. It's usually like $20 to $40. But in Japan, these don't cost that much. And I've been to Japan. That's where I got my first paper theater. That's how I found out about them. And so they're about $10 to $20. And this is the standard size paper theater that I'm working on. It kind of looks like, what is it, maybe 4 inches high, 3 inches wide. But they do have varying sizes, and I think the greater the size and the greater the intricacy, the more it costs, but it's not substantially a lot more. They also have wooden paper theaters. I haven't done one of those yet. That's on the docket. It's coming up. And they also have paper theater balls. I think those are pretty cool. They're tinier, but they come in its own protective ball. Like, this is just paper that sits out in the open. And so it's susceptible to dust or potential water damage, but the paper theater ball does come in a plastic ball, and I think that's super cool. And they also have paper theater cube. I'm going to do that probably in the next video or maybe the one after. I have not personally assembled one yet, but I got my first one and I'm really excited. I have assembled one of the balls and I fell in love. So far, I really like all of these paper theaters though. Now jumping back into the explanation part, what I like to do is I like to get each layer, try to space them out in my left hand, and then with my right hand, I like to put the corner joint in. And the first two, whichever two are the biggest on one side, I do at once. And I don't glue them in just yet because I want to make sure my foundation is stable, and it makes the other pieces so much easier to put in. And at that point, you put glue in each individual joint of, I don't know what you call it, each individual slot of the joint, I guess. And the first few are more difficult, and the more that you put in, the easier it gets because the paper theater itself does become more stable. And so this is just me putting in the joints. It depends on your design. You usually have 7 or 8 joints. And sometimes they're all the same size. Sometimes they have 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large. This one particularly had 3 sizes. It was 2 larges, which I did at the bottom, the first 2. 2 mediums, which I did at the top. And then 3 smalls along the sides, which I'm working on right now. You could see on my mat I have one more small piece left. And I'm rotating to where that would go. Putting the glue in, and then sliding that small joint in. And the last one always goes in the easiest. And now I'm actually taking out those first 2 large ones that I put in because they were not glued down. And this is just a stability thing. You don't ever take these theaters apart. And then I glue the last one in, and your paper theater is done. Exciting. That concludes my first paper theater video. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, if I need to change some camera angles, and I'll probably do one a week. So everyone, hope you have a good week.